Hello, family and
Wow,
friends.
that was fast. Hey guys,
I know.
happy Sunday night.
I asked and I just went for it. I didn't even change shirts. This is my lounge. This is
I
my lounging
also,
shirt.
We are in our loungewear.
We just went straight Sunday night on everybody. It's 8.
It's also late, so
I don't know what time is it, like 8.
It's time for
8:32.
loungewear.
It's pretty good.
I feel like
I tiled this one Wednesday
It's
night
just
on
like
a Sunday night
on the back
on
porch.
the back
from
porch from
inside.
inside the house. We just keep moving around, and we're in a totally different area of the house. Like this is
We're
our
still adjacent to the porch.
the porch
The porch door is here.
is
There
right
it is.
right through that.
Just a
through
little
the
cold,
door.
so we're hiding from the kids in a room where they're not, and we're also inside where it's not cold.
I know,
And it's 8:30, not 7.
and
so
it's 8:30 not 7 on a Sunday evening. Things are looking up. You know,
We're breaking all the
We're
rules.
just going wild in the Harrell house tonight. It's going
we had to go
crazy.
and collect a child from town, and then
You did. Luke and I, my oldest and I, stayed home and watched YouTube videos of people free climbing skyscrapers in China. That's how we roll, and it was
he
insane.
just said. He
Goodness.
said that you guys were watching these people hang on with like one hand, and you guys, your palms.
My palms
were
are sweating. I was like, Luke, are you sweating over there?
Me
He's
and
like,
Dad
yeah,
were
I'm
watching.
freaking
Our
out.
palms were sweating. Carolyn said, "Why?" He said, "Because it's scary." She goes, "Are you sure it wasn't just dog spit?" He was
so
like,
cool.
"Yeah, I'm sure."
Yeah, when
It's
dog
not
spit
dog
on our
spit. We were
hands.
nervous.
It's crazy with it. Mary, good to see you this evening. Yahoo.
Hey,
That's the first time I've seen Yahoo in a while, and I think you
and
used it
KO.
quietly
All in one
appropriate.
comment. That's awesome.
Sarah Thomason, good evening to you, Sarah. Might I ask
Evening.
where you were this morning?
What are
I'm
you
not gonna lie.
asking?
I think Sarah might have gone to the other campus, and that's fine.
Oh,
Because one, Michaela, our worship leader of the other campus, got
Yay!
engaged. Michaela,
Congratulations, Michaela.
congratulations to a strapping young lad. And
Yes.
also, our Harmony campus moved into the new building today.
I'm sure you saw the
It-
selfie.
I saw the selfie. It's very cool, y'all. If in just a
Jonathan
little
and Rob
bit,
took a selfie from the front, from the stage, and the crowd was in the background.
it's so
Awesome.
neat. I watched the service.
So
I watched a
happy.
lot of the service. It looks fantastic,
I'm
y'all.
so excited to see
So
it.
if you get a chance this evening on Facebook, look up Lake Point Community Church Harmony Campus. Check it out. It looks stunning in there.
The
Absolutely
building,
stunning.
we just drove by in the night the other day, and the
It
lights
looks-
were all on the outside. It looks
good.
very, very pretty.
Our guys, the
Super
Sepurons, hooked up the parking lot. They've gotten it resurfaced and
Love
restriped.
it.
For
Love
real,
it.
y'all. It looks fantastic. So
You guys
if
call the
you're up for it,
Sepurons for all your parking lot resurfacing needs.
it's fantastic. On December the 12th, okay, so I know it's right in the middle of Christmas season. On December the 12th, everybody at Madison campus and anywhere else that you might find yourself is invited to come down to Harmony campus. We're going to do
I
a
was
building
not in the
dedication
building
day.
for announcements today. Is that a
I didn't announce it today. I
one
forgot.
location?
One
Wow.
location. Harmony folks, no
Just
offense.
throwing that out
We're
there.
going to announce it later.
So
No,
there will be no Madison.
no, there
campus?
will be
Oh, okay.
Madison services. We're
Sorry.
going to have 2 services like normal. I believe.
And
I
then
think Blake's
after
preaching.
church?
Blake's preaching that Sunday because Jeff
Nice.
Rogers, myself, Matt Watkins, y'all, we're taking the crew down to Harmony campus.
Oh, fun.
So Justin Kennedy is going to lead
I knew this
worship
was coming, I
Sunday
just
at
didn't have a
Madison.
date
that
for
Sunday.
it.
Not this Sunday. This is December the 12th.
December
the 12th.
12th.
So yeah, guys, it's going to be a great time and watch it
AKA
online.
the last Sunday before school lets out for Christmas.
Yeah, that's
We
what I
count
was
in
thinking.
we count in weeks of school
Weeks of
in
school.
my brain. I
You did
do.
it well.
When I say we, I mean I. We have 3
There's
weeks.
a lot going on in that there head. Teresa, I'm glad you're joining us this evening.
Sorry, I took a sip of coffee at the same time you did. It was an awkward silence.
It's okay. This is more awkward.
Sorry.
So I hope you had a
Sorry.
great Sunday afternoon. How was everybody's? If you're still there, Mary, Sarah, Mary, and Teresa, how was your Sunday afternoon? Anything crazy going on, Miss Linda?
Miss Linda.
We missed you this morning.
Yeah,
Last couple
we've been
weeks, you
missing
doing okay?
you.
I hope you're doing getting a little bit stronger, Miss
I
Linda.
hope so.
Oh man, Heather.
Yes, Heather, you know. 3 weeks of
Based
school.
on school days,
It makes all the difference.
it does. My entire family, aside from me, is off work next week, all week, Monday through
I
Friday.
was just trying to explain to Caroline why you're not off of work because we're out of school. She's like, why is Daddy not off on a break? And I was like, it's just a school break.
It'll be okay. It'll be
I
a
don't
slower
know that our
week. It's
kids
not bad.
understand either, like, your job.
They don't know
No
what to do.
offense.
Not many people. It's okay.
No offense.
None taken.
They're
I
like,
mean,
but
no
it's a
disrespect.
Monday. It's not, I don't know. What is he going to do on a Monday?
What are you gonna do?
What would,
He preached today.
why wouldn't he just be home?
Just
It's
sit
like,
home,
he
Dad.
won't be home.
Sit at home in that Morgan County golf team. I'm gonna check on that. That was bad. That was loud.
I heard a loud crash. I think it was the dog. I think the dog pulled something down. Knocked over a chair. So we have a puppy. She's super fun, and she just knocked over a chair on herself. I think they're fine. It seems urgent. I'm looking through 2 sets of windows into the room where the kids are. Anyway, Miss Linda, I'm so glad that you are getting better and regaining strength. The last 2 pills, that's exciting. We'll hopefully see you very, very soon. I'm just checking on. No big deal. Nothing to see here. I think we're all good. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. So, adventures with the puppy. She has gotten a little bit taller, and so she's starting to climb on furniture. And apparently, the plant. I was trying to figure out, what did she pull over?
Off the chair.
She pulled a jacket that was hanging on a chair. Sweet Millie. Sweet Millie. I could sort of see through the windows to see. I like that reaction time, though. You jumped.
We
up
jumped on it.
fast. That was good.
We jumped on it. And we're back. We have a dog. It's exciting. We're loving it.
Heather said,
We're
"Sweet
loving
Millie."
it. Sweet Millie. That's what
She's
Nathaniel.
so
He's in
sweet.
love with that dog.
He is in love.
Oh my word, Miss Linda, you took your last 2. Wonderful.
We
See you
discussed
better?
it.
We've already, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. I'm getting called back up.
Catching right back up. All we have to go on is the comments. When we wink it, there's not much to go on.
There's not much to go on. It's just one of us here. So, y'all, hope you had a great Sunday afternoon. Thanks for joining us. We are running a little bit late this evening. We had a great Sunday evening and a great day at church today in the building. If you're able to watch
So
online
many
or be in the
people.
building, y'all, we're consistently running over 400 in the building at Madison campus. We had, I think, 423 today, but dedicated 3 beautiful little babies and their families
Precious.
really to the Lord.
Tiny
It
little
was
sweet
fantastic.
little girls. And then 2 baptisms.
And 2 baptisms to a
That's
sweet, sweet family. So really neat. And the Sunday before Thanksgiving, which is traditionally kind of a lower Sunday in attendance, but not in
Usually, but I will
Moco.
tell
We're
you,
just wide open.
the kids and I, because of the puppy, came just for second service today and got there, exactly on time. 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Maybe. Close to exactly on time. And I circled the parking lot 2 full times before I was able to kind of squeeze into the last little piece of grass
Our parking lot guy
that's
hooked you up.
available. He did. He
Ricky Massey's running he's running
he ran a tight ship and got me in. But I was like, how do people do this if they're not early?
Yeah.
So
Figuring it out, y'all. It's wonderful. So we're excited about that. But yeah, it was a great Sunday in the building. Great Sunday, everybody.
Tommy loved the loud music.
Thanks, Tommy. Thanks, my
It was
man.
even in the lyrics of
It was the song was
It said it's
actually called
and then it was
It
loud.
Might Get Loud, and they did. They followed through. I just
Again, I was not in the room for the prelude, like the early part when they played it first, but I was near after church, and I was like, "Wow, that is very appropriate for the lyrics of that song."
let's do a survey. Anybody else? Heather, what are your thoughts? We're a safe. This is a safe space. We can trust each other, just for the world to see. We're trying to figure some of that out. Yeah, it's a good time. Did a great job today. Our praise team is getting younger by the Sunday.
Yeah, the average age on stage was very low today.
Yeah.
So many teenagers, and they're so talented, all of
So
them.
talented. Neat tidbit. I share that about
Oh yeah, that thing.
y'all. I didn't share this morning, and poor mom. Oh wow, Heather, we are so thankful for you and your family,
yes,
for real.
we
So
are.
thankful. I was laughing at Heather Chamberlain, Heather
Oh,
Heather Howard. Each other.
poor
Poor
Miss
mom.
Molly.
Oh
New
wow.
hearing aids are already a
That's why she was back
challenge.
there in the back, like rocking,
The fetal position.
and then just like I can't make it
Bless
stop,
her.
like Leo Mazzoni.
What did the
you know?
dog? What did the little seeing eye dog feel about the music? Did you notice? We had a dog in church.
We had a
today.
dog today in church. I don't know. They probably gave her some pill. I don't know.
I would imagine she was probably like,
So
"Where have we?
This is a lot. But we
Where have you
loved it.
taken me?"
That's fantastic. So one of our young guys on stage today, if you were looking at the stage, he was the young man on the far right, not Jacob Walls.
The lead singer.
Lucas Smith. Yeah, he was leading a song.
Referenced by.
Lead singing a song. Y'all, good young man. He's only a senior. I think he's a senior in high school. Yesterday,
Fantastic.
his grandfather, they did a service for a funeral for his grandfather, who was a pastor for over 50 years.
Such
Like
an
just
awesome
legendary
legacy.
man. And I'm pretty sure Lucas helped with the music
That's awesome.
for the service.
So sweet.
And he was there helping lead worship for our church today. So to me, if I were his granddad, I'd be very, very proud.
So
Like,
proud.
what a
So much to be proud
neat,
of. Definitely.
neat thing to see.
He's
so
a true talent, and he practices so
Yeah.
much that it just makes it perfect. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And the song they sing is one of my new
it's a
favorites.
beautiful song.
Especially if you feel like you're in a place where you're like, I don't feel like this is the best time, because it talks about being in the valley and how
Mm-hmm.
God is easy to find even in the valley. So good song, good time.
Good time with it. Justin, we've been on here since 7. This is the longest Sunday night thing. No, we started like 8:30. We started like 37 seconds ago. But Justin, I saw you sent a video to the staff, man. That looked like a great Thanksgiving party.
It did.
Thank
What
you
a
for
fun
doing that, my
small
friend.
group.
And for all the groups that are meeting. Y'all, our groups are doing really well. So if you're not in a life group, we're going to be, especially
should
after the
be.
first of the year, we're going to have videos. We're going to be pushing those a lot, really getting folks in. But great time with that. Justin, thanks for leading that well, my friend.
I don't know why that reminded me, but I feel like I need to say this for the good of all the families. Next Sunday, if you haven't had a family picture at church, dress for the family picture. And I'm saying this really to us because
We need to
we
do it.
have not done that yet. And today, sweet Ashley was like, hey, we need to get your family in here. And I was like, not today. Today's not the day. We didn't.
We're trying to get shoe boxes right now.
We-
Like, let's
we
get through
made
the
it
shoe
with
box
shoe
for
boxes.
Ann Harper, who crushed it. We're going to get the shoe boxes in.
Do we have a final count? Can we say?
We're going to
Are
be,
you going to unveil the number?
Out.
It's so many.
It's over 1,000.
I mean, in case you were,
It's between 900 and 1,000 right now. Like another Calvary Baptist Church in Madison,
it will
downtown,
be at 1,000.
is bringing 100 boxes. We're going to have over, now we're a drop locations. These are all in Morgan County. But y'all,
So
Morgan
awesome.
County just 2 years ago, before we
It was
were
in the,
able
like,
to lead this,
2
to
maybe
300.
low 300 for the county.
crushing it.
Morgan County
Franklin
is
Grant, he's
killing
probably
it.
going to show up next week. We're
We're gonna get an award, I'm sure.
I'm just
No,
saying.
it's not what you do it for.
I'm not. I'm just.
But
it's
when
not.
you
It's for the
walk
kingdom.
into the foyer and the boxes are
That's
literally
impressive.
stacked to the ceiling, Miss Ann had to take her Christmas tree down.
She took her Christmas tree down because there's so many boxes, and she has secured another trailer to
A
help
horse
transport.
trailer because they won't fit in the trailer that we originally.
Absolutely
did.
amazing.
Such a great problem.
Absolutely wonderful. So yes, all that to say, plan on getting your picture made next week. Isn't that crazy, Heather? That is a true story. Like
It is. I remember the day he came home.
it
from
was the
Dollar Tree.
neatest thing.
And I would return back to that Dollar Tree and shop. We had kind of
Yeah.
had a friendship with him.
Yeah,
He was a
we were
cool
there
guy.
for a while. Very nice guy.
I was just telling the kids, and I kind of forget this. When I was 15 years old, I got a letter from my shoebox recipient because I had been to a youth convention called Big Stuff that Andy Stanley's church put on at the beach, and they did a big promo for the shoebox ministry, and they had a skit where you kind of talked about if you followed the people through their lives, how you could meet them, and they sort of said, hey, if you put your address in there, they can write you a letter. And so that year I did. I put my own just a little
She put her address, her social,
no, just my address.
where her bedroom was
I
located
don't
in the
recommend
house. Like it was.
just
RG
my
didn't
address.
know.
Mailing
RG
address.
likely didn't know about this.
And the little girl, like 6 months later, I got
That's
a
neat.
letter from Germany, and we wrote back and forth for a good little while. And she was a sweet little girl, and she was my age, of course.
That's really neat.
So very cool. And you can track the shoe boxes now
Yeah.
if you have your life together and you do it that way. You
Very,
can
very neat thing to
scan
do.
the QR code and have it tracked.
That's right.
So
Very
Very
cool
sweet.
with it, y'all.
Yeah,
So yeah,
such a
Heather, it's a
sweet
neat thing. It's a neat thing to do. So that today was the last Sunday. All right. So if you do bring boxes, every year we have a few folks
Mm-hmm.
that bring boxes. What we do is we actually save those for the next year. All right. So if you bring them in next week, that's cool. We'll put them in our massive storage area upstairs in a crawl space, and
Massive.
we'll be ready to go
biggest
for next
storage
year.
area.
So
there
Elizabeth,
are also regional drop-off locations that you can get
Yeah, in
it to. But you
Athens.
have to do it.
Yeah, we
you
can't-
have to
we can't
physically
get
bring
those
it to those. So if you're just bound and determined, or we can store it.
well, we can start. Elizabeth,
Elizabeth, your sweet kids.
so
are
thankful for your
precious. I have
family.
pictures to send you. I keep forgetting. I have videos and pictures
Yep.
of the back of their head. But
Yeah, I
that
know.
was the angle that I was
I know.
at.
And the camera's on the other side. I was like, the
I also
family, it's
kept
okay.
thinking you guys should have come and sat in my seats, but then
I should have invited you up. We're learning. I'm new at this thing. You know,
Not
y'all
that new.
absolutely sweet. So sweet.
Sweet
Very
kids.
thankful, Elizabeth.
they're
You
so
and Brett
precious.
are raising wonderful kids, and met Brett's mom today, and everybody. That was really sweet.
Sweet.
So very good day, y'all. Other things that we
Precious
have
kids.
coming up. Want to let you know. Let's see what we got. December 4th. All right. So this next a couple Saturdays from now, we're gonna have a women's retreat. Would love for you to be there for that.
Awesome.
If you're a woman, you can get more information online or call the church office. We'll get you signed up.
Fun times.
This next Sunday, we went out of order there. This next Sunday, November 28th, is our first Sunday in Advent. So our first Sunday in Christmas. So tonight we're going to be talking about some Christmas stuff. I know it's not even Thanksgiving yet, but we're kind of getting in
We're
the
a little
spirit
ahead
a
of the
little bit. So we're going to be talking about that. And then a lot of things coming up. So folks that have been here for a long time, those that are new, we like to do just fun family traditional kind of stuff at Lake Point. So we're doing the Christmas parade. We're doing pancakes with Santa. That's both of those are on December 19th.
Oh.
Oh, nope,
I don't
sometime.
know.
Anyway, they're in December. But look for those. I mean, it's going to be an absolute blast. The
think it
pancakes
is.
with Santa. We have so many kids, which is awesome.
it's
We're actually
18.
asking folks to kind of like pre-register for that. So when you come in the building, or if you go online, you can pre-register for make sure we have a time slot. And that
I'm
night
pretty
we're going to
certain
do.
that's the sign up sheet that you have a QR code for each
That's
time
right.
slot, and you can
Yeah.
register per that
Per,
time.
we have like so many kids per slot there. December 11th. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Like,
Tisha. Oh, Teresa. Pete. Yeah, that's awesome, Teresa. Wonderful.
Yay,
This is really
good.
cool.
This is
Very, very
exciting.
cool. So plan on coming to that, and then I'm inviting y'all. I haven't even asked my wife yet, so we're gonna see how this goes. So that
be
morning of
exciting.
December 11th is Pancakes with Santa. That evening, afternoon, y'all, it's gonna be a decked out float. It's about to be really
Polar
crazy cool.
Express.
And
It's happening.
We're gonna have probably like 40 or 50 kids.
So many.
I don't know if we're gonna have room
So
for
many.
parents. Parents might have to wait at the end. But I talked to the people of the city. It's been a few years. We have a great relationship with the city of Madison. And I was asking her if there's anything they need. They said, no, everything's covered. But she said, you like to sing carols? I was like,
Yeah.
do I like to sing carols? So anyway, after the parade's over, if you want, now this isn't on the church, this is the city's putting this on, but you're invited. I'm thinking our family might go if we have time that day. Jump off the float after it's parked in a safe location.
I don't know.
And,
Usually we do have a period where people literally just jump off.
They're just jumping off. We're just handing kids
I don't
to the
remember
right
just
people.
passing kids off
But they're going to go to Town Park and have hot chocolate and Christmas caroling.
and sing like on a stage or just
No,
participate.
I
in
think they're
the-
just participating.
Okay.
I don't know a lot of details, but it sounds like fun. I think I might check it out.
Some singing will happen. That's all we know.
We
And
will
hot
be
chocolate.
singing. We will be singing. So anyway, plan on
I'm
coming out
sure
to that
it
one.
Sounds like a fun.
It'll be a great time.
If you do put your child on the float, we will have enough parents riding. There will be some parents, just probably not all the parents. And it is such a. I think we need to elaborate again.
It goes quickly, so bring a golf cart.
Don't
Like if you're going to walk,
plan. Do not plan to walk.
Rob Rayner and
Beside-
Amber Iding in me
You will need
a
a
couple
golf
years ago,
cart
pre-COVID,
or
we're like,
something.
hey, let's walk. I was like, y'all, it's not. Well, I don't want to walk again.
You cannot.
And
You
once you
cannot
come
do
down
it.
College Avenue and you hit Main Street, everything just takes off.
It's like full speed. I don't know.
They
that
took
it-
off.
I think you're going
And it
the
went
speed
so
limit.
fast. I looked down and I was like, I don't know. And then I saw my boy Milton Snyder, my friend who's like 90 years for real.
Oh
90
yeah,
years
we
old.
lost Danny.
I saw
completely.
him. I was like 12 feet into the parade. I was like, I'm just going to catch up with Milton. And I did. I stopped there on the side of the road and talked for an
Everyone's
hour.
like, where did? There is no walking. I mean, I just feel like I need to say this because I think people think they're going to walk beside their kids on the float, and you can't.
It does move pretty
So
quickly.
if you feel like you need to be on the float, then let
We
us
get it.
know. We'll make it happen. And then if not, we can pull the float goes through town to Town Park, and then it takes a right past the jewelers. And at that point, we can sort of that's such a good drop off location for people if
Yeah,
they want
we'll
to
get that
snag
one.
their kids off the float. And then where you park is the other spot. So
Where you park with it.
sometimes if you're going to Town Park, you want to grab
Yes.
them right away, so we can sort of
Yep.
pass kids off that way.
If anyone needs
Just saying
anything
that-
done, all right, like anything, if you wake up tomorrow and realize you forgot your leather briefcase at home and you're in Cumming, Georgia, like let's just throw out a random scenario, I can almost guarantee that if you text, don't even call her, text message Michelle Walls as you're riding down the road and ask for anything,
Did somebody leave their
and
leather
it will
briefcase,
happen
or you just?
within like 17 minutes. This morning on the way to church.
She's the one.
We
for
had the
job.
Holmes family baptisms were being set up. We'd like to have a bag, just a little something to give the families. And I remembered as I'm driving to church, I never asked anybody to do anything about bags. I texted Michelle as I was driving. I'm sorry, but I did. I know. And almost by the time I got to church, she was there
For some
with
reason, I
bags.
write you a ticket from this
Michelle, you're
conversation.
insane. I know. Don't tell me.
I actually did. I sat down and I thought, those bags look awesome.
They were
I didn't hear
fantastic.
Danny say a word about those
I
bags.
didn't.
And
I
then
didn't
I
say a
thought,
word.
man, we are really getting on top of it around here.
I know.
Where I don't even have to
People
hear
are looking at us
about
like this church has it together. I was like, nah. I just
Michelle
know
has
somebody.
It together.
Michelle,
we
is who
know
I know.
people who have it together.
She's got it.
That's
really
amazing
together.
because I'm telling you, I couldn't have pulled that off this
I
morning.
couldn't have pulled it off. Michelle could not have pulled it
Well,
off.
well
without you.
done. It's good. It's good to know the right people.
One other thing I would like to announce, and it's nothing like personal, but another church thing event, and I've never done this before either. We're going to try it out on December the 21st. All right, so we got a few weeks from this. I've had some friends have done this service. December 21st is the winter solstice, so it's the longest night of the year. All right, for most of the world.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. I know it's crazy. It's the Tuesday right before Christmas. But some churches have started doing what's called the longest night service, or other churches call it a blue service, just because sometimes people can get naturally blue around the holidays. But the whole purpose for this, all right, it's not going to be big. We're not going to have, like Tommy, we're not going to have loud music. It's going to be very quiet, very reflective. Maybe we can have some candles. I don't know. It's going to be very, very quiet and somber. But it's just a time specifically designed for families and friends in our church family, in our community, who are experiencing or grief,
Mm-hmm.
or are still mourning the loss of a loved one from the last year or few
Or any
years.
year,
It doesn't matter
right.
if it's been the last calendar year or way back, but a time for our church family to gather
Mm-hmm.
and to remember. And it's been on my heart for the last couple of years, and I've just decided, you know what,
We need to
we're
do
going
it.
to do this this year.
Yeah, we've never been a part of a service like
We
that.
have not.
But I've
So
heard about
I've
them.
read
and I
a
think
lot
it's
about
such
it.
a great
I've talked to some good friends about
needed
it,
thing.
and Christmas is honestly one of my favorite times, as I think a lot of us, favorite times of the year. And I talked to a lady just this morning. Jeff and I are going to meet with her tomorrow, who's experiencing loss from a spouse. And to me, sometimes we can get into the holiday season, and get right back into go and celebrate, which is all good. But knowing that spiritually, I think the Lord wants us to allow time to sit with one another. So
Well, and it truly is an entire season of everybody around you is doing all the happiest things that they love,
right.
and everything may be different for you this year or in every year. And so I think it's a necessary.
I think it's going to be necessary, and naturally, folks in our church family, folks on the virtual group, folks in our community, just a time to gather. So we'll be releasing more information about that.
Ooh, I would love there to be a virtual aspect to it.
We're going to try to do a virtual aspect, and we'll see y'all. If you have ideas, like Heather, as you're talking about this from
Yeah,
church
let
growing
us
up,
know what
if you have
you guys
ideas or
did
aspects you
things
think,
remember.
man, that would be good. Yeah, absolutely. Let us know, because we want to incorporate a number of things and I just want to be upfront with it. Y'all, this will be a service where we can cry together and sit and bring pictures of loved ones and remember, because it's different when you go through these things. But what I found is as Christians, the Lord does call His people to be together. So all that to say, December 21st, I think we're gonna do it from 6 to 7, just a simple service. But if you're free, I know it's the week right of Christmas, but we'd love for you to join us, and we'll try to do a
That'd be
virtual section
So
as well.
more details to come. And
More details
if
to
you
come.
have been to a service or have ideas even that you've never seen in a service before, we'd love to hear it.
We would love to do this.
Just
Yep,
honor those sweet people.
that's right, because we have some sweet ones, Miss Heather, and so many more. Some sweet ones. So we will be doing that, and know that we're here for all of our friends, and that's absolutely right, Heather. In any
That's
form of
right.
loss,
That's right.
divorce, or with children, and to me, it's all the way down to
think it
folks who have
applies
children
to
that
any
grow up and
type of-
move, or any type of experience like that.
If you feel like you have a reason to come, then come.
Come, that's right. And we're going to have some folks, and that's my prayer, some that might be having, honestly, the best year of their lives. I mean, just
Yeah,
I
and we
can't
want
imagine.
you to come too.
Come and be
to
a
be
part of our
with each
church
other.
and our family, and be like in Job when his friends just came and sat and they said, "We're here. We're going to listen to you."
Right.
So
love it.
we're going to do that. It's going to be very, very simple, but put on your calendars, and we'll plan on doing that one. All right. So tonight, my wife wanted to do a bubble buster and bust
I did.
every idea that we have about Christmas is about to be shattered. No, she was
No.
listening to a Bible study, and we were having a conversation just the other day about some things in the Christmas season, almost at Thanksgiving. We could be talking about Thanksgiving night, but we're jumping ahead. Can actually, come from
Well,
maybe
this
not
comes
a
from
verse in there.
some of you have heard me mention before that I listen to the Bible recap. It's a reading plan to get through the Bible in a year. And if you're on schedule with that reading plan, you are way past Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But I happen to be really behind because I don't know. It sort of piles up on me. So I'm just now
There's no
entering
virus.
into the new.
Should I go check?
I think we're good. If they come and get us, I think
They didn't even move. They didn't even move.
nobody's.
It's fine.
They're good. So I'm just now entering into the New Testament. So I'm probably going to be a little behind a year finishing the Bible because I'm coming in late. But that's okay. This week I crossed into all of the chapters that talk about Christmas. We read Luke chapter 2. That's the one that people hear from Charlie Brown Christmas, and the kids know it from that, and that's the most familiar one for the kids. But then also all the Gospels touch on it. Why are you laughing about
I
that?
don't think your hand has ever been this close to my face when you're talking. It's like,
I think we are super close in this
we're getting
location.
close. It's almost Christmas. No, every time I keep seeing it. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry. Anyway, so I was hearing this, and then I listened to the companion podcast that. Now you're making fun of me. I'm going to move over here.
We need space. Leave room for the Holy Spirit. That's what we said in youth group.
That's what you said in youth group. I didn't say that.
No purple. Continue. She didn't say that. She dated
I
so many
didn't say
pastors
no
in her life.
purple
It's not
or
funny.
Holy Spirit. Just saying. That was a nerdy thing.
I have
to
no
say.
recovery. I have
I
nothing.
didn't.
I'm just gonna sit here and listen.
I don't know. Teenagers will eat you alive if you say stuff like that. It's not real life.
What did that teenager say the other day in Chick-fil-A drive-thru? And I was like, I have never heard that phrase before in my life. And everyone in the car laughed at me. First time in my
I
life.
guarantee you that
everyone
you guys
laughed.
have heard this.
I've never heard
was,
it before in my life. I've never heard this phrase.
It was one of the Glass Girls, and she said, we were on the way to a kids' sporting thing. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
She said, wow, that sounds low-key fun. Danny couldn't get over it.
I was like, it sounds what? She
He
said,
literally
Pastor
didn't
Danny.
know the words.
And she laughed out loud at me
She
before
said,
she
Pastor
said
Danny,
it.
you don't know.
Low-key fun.
He said, wait, what words are you saying?
I was like, low-key?
And everybody in the car was like, low key fun. He's never heard it.
Never. I
I
can't
just
remember it. I can't remember the phrase to tell other people. I'm like, y'all, there's some phrase going around. I don't know what it is. And I can't even remember what it was. Low-key fun.
It's a perfect describer
It makes
of certain
sense.
things.
These
like,
kids these days, I'm telling you, they describe things well. We digress. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, so I was hearing about the Christmas story, and the lady on the podcast sort of broke down some things from the Jewish culture of the time that are probably misconceptions about the nativity scene. So then Danny called me a bubble buster because there's a lot of things that we think about in the manger scene that are not really necessarily accurate.
Would you care to share one with the class?
So one of them is that probably Mary and Joseph did not travel on one little tiny donkey to Bethlehem alone. It was probably their whole family
Have you seen the movie The
in
Donkey?
a caravan. I've seen the movie. That's not called The Donkey.
It's close enough. It's
Do you
Have
mean
y'all
the
seen
little
the movie?
cartoon?
the little cartoon where we gave out little stars a couple
Yeah.
years ago, the little donkeys.
I don't
That's
think
historically accurate.
it's called The Star.
The Star. That's what it's called, the Star. That's interesting, for real.
So they probably traveled, most likely. We don't have proof one way or the other, but most families would have caravan together because it was a few days trip.
My one thing with that,
She
which is
probably was
interesting.
not 9 months pregnant on the back of a donkey alone. We don't know.
Interesting.
The way that you picture it is probably not. You also picture that they're in a barn with hay, but most of the mangers in that time in the stables were in caves. I know. It's different. What if your manger scene was made
Christmas
out of a
is
cave?
ruined.
Even the actual manger was often carved out of a piece of stone.
Tell the
There was
interesting
not a
tidbit
lot
about
of
that you're
wood.
learning about.
Is that what you mean? There's not a lot of wood?
Hmm?
That's it. There's not a there wasn't a lot of wood. It was like a very hot commodity in that time.
No,
And so,
when we were talking about like with the lambs and because when I've used that in a sermon a couple years ago, interesting fact, in Bethlehem, outside of the city of Bethlehem, which is called the city of David, outside of
The
Bethlehem,
main
that is where
shepherds,
the
yeah.
shepherds raised the lambs that were used for sacrifice in the temple to be used as a sacrifice for the atonement of the sins of the people.
so almost certainly
a
the
lamb without
shepherds that
blemish
the angels appeared to
were preparing,
were
raising.
the ones who took care of sacrificial lambs. And when they were born, if it
That's
was
cool.
for sure a lamb that was going to be
Without blemish.
without blemish and you knew it was going to be set up, the right lineage to be a sacrificial lamb, you would wrap it in a swaddling cloth to keep it from having any blemish on its skin.
That's cool. And
As
lay
soon
it
as it was born, you would wrap it in swaddling clothes.
and lay it in a.
I don't know if you
manger.
laid it in a manger or not.
That sounds
but
cool.
I
I'm going with
think-
that.
Yeah.
That is really neat, though. That's some really neat things to know that, sometimes we'll hear like, oh, yeah, Bethlehem. Yeah, I get it's where Jesus was born. Historically, though, there's a lot more to it than that. Like it's
Well,
really,
and when
really
the angel
fascinating.
said that he was laid in swaddling clothes, it was not only fulfilling a prophecy that was in the scripture from hundreds of years before, but those specific shepherds would have thought, wait a minute, this is a lamb. This is real. It would have just meant so much to that specific group of people.
That's really neat. That's good.
So I thought that was interesting. Then today, I feel like I'm ruining everyone's nativity scene.
Ours is still up from
But
last year.
today
so
we talked about it is, and it's not a cave. It looks like a barn.
It's a
just
real
like
one,
the
doggone it.
traditional. We talked about the verses with the wise men. Were there three? We don't know. Were they kings? We don't know. They're probably on a king's panel of astrologists or dream interpreters or something like that. They probably weren't actually kings.
Do you
So the
remember where they
song
were from?
"We Three Kings."
The wise men were from.
Well, the east, but
Right.
there's some debate about it. Could have even been Turkey, which is north. There's a lot of other places.
Turkey or
people have a
Babylon.
lot of
One interesting tidbit
debate
is that,
about that.
when the Israelites were exiled, right, in like 700, a long time BC,
Daniel,
Daniel
the
and Daniel,
lion's den.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the Jewish people were taken out of Israel, taken into captivity into a faraway land, they brought their belief system with them and left a lot of their belief system with them
Well, it
when
was
they came
taken.
back.
The temple scrolls and all of because I just left reading that in the Old Testament. All of the pottery and everything from the temple was taken into Babylon and kept for hundreds of years until it was accidentally discovered by a king in this, like, basically a storage facility.
That's pretty cool.
And they sent it back with Nehemiah.
Mm-hmm.
Nehemiah went to rebuild the wall, and the king then was like, "Hey, there's some of this pottery. I think it's from your religion."
Mm-hmm.
And so some of it made it back, but a lot of it didn't.
So the wise men, now, historically, more than likely by the time Jesus is born, had been studying Jewish tradition and faith as well. So when they saw the star, they knew
it
the
meant
messianic promise in this other religion and started walking. Again, like, this is hundreds and hundreds of years in the making. So really neat.
There are 2 verses in, I think it's in Luke that I was listening to, Luke or John, where it says that he says there were 14 generations from Adam, is it to Abraham, and then 14 generations, and then 14 generations to Jesus. But she said that really the number is super important in the culture, and so 7 is the number of perfection. So it might just be that it wasn't exactly 14 generations, but also that 14 just meant doubly perfect. So the timing of Jesus, I don't know. Do you think it's really 14?
I would want to learn more about that. That's interesting, but like,
I don't know. She said that there's 2 ways to think about it.
Yeah, that's
there
interesting.
are named in that
Right.
the early 14 are named and the last 14 are named. So I feel like you can't go wrong with those. Seems
Right.
like 14. But it was also 400 years of silence, right? Between Old and New Testament. Anyway, just interesting. I don't know. She wasn't claiming one way or the other. She just said there's a theory that the numbers are super significant.
Really interesting with it. So as we're getting ready for Christmas, as you're getting ready to set up your nativity scenes, call Shantae to make sure they're set up historically accurately.
No, I don't know. I'm not a historian at all. I just thought
No,
it was
there are
very
some
interesting.
very interesting things in there. And I would invite us, as we're getting into this, y'all to read the story for the first, not for the first time. Again, read the story around Christmas time. We're having some Advent guides. We're going to be looking at different ideas each Sunday. There's 24 chapters in the book of Luke. There's 24 days in the month of December leading up to Christmas Day. So we invite you to do that as well. Read a chapter a day. Look into these things because the story behind Jesus' birth is absolutely fascinating.
It is.
And I think the Lord wants us to.
And I will go one step further. If you're interested in starting this reading plan over with me on January 1st, back at Genesis 1, I have really enjoyed starting at the beginning of the Bible and working my way through. Now, I'm not on schedule. I'm going to be finishing late behind everybody, but if I'm going to start January 1st again, either way, and just double up until I finish. But it's been really, really cool to read it. This particular reading plan restructures it not in the order of the Bible, but in chronological order of as it was written and as it happened. And so you're really hearing the story in order from beginning to end. So to get into the New Testament and finally Jesus is here, it's like a big part of the story. Because every single thing in the Old Testament, it's just pointing to Jesus. So it's really cool to finally be to the part where he's born.
My Old Testament professor in seminary would refer to Jesus because she was teaching Old Testament as the central figure in the New Testament, and her whole reason for doing that, Dr. DeClasse Wofford, was to remind us in every story in the Old Testament, we're reading it through the lens of Jesus already being here. They were writing it not knowing that it was going to be exactly like Jesus, but they knew something was coming. So it changes things. When you read any story in the Old Testament, read it through the lens of what is this telling me about the Savior, about the Messiah, and that really is this giant arrow, pointing to the cross.
I've really enjoyed reading in this order.
Really good.
And so when you get to the nativity story, whether it's a barn or a cave, it's a very cool thing. And then to just take that one step further to talk to people who've been to these areas and seen the culture and seen the things, it just makes it such a real story. It's very cool.
These are very real places. So
set up your nativity scene.
Set up those nativity scenes. We're going to have a blast.
Ours, but it's interesting to learn.
And I'm excited about that. Thanks, Shantae.
Yeah, I do what I can.
All right. With that,
just taking down one Christmas tradition at a time.
Next week we're hitting the Christmas tree.
No.
Okay.
No, we're not. Maybe next week we'll have a Christmas tree up. Do you think?
Hey, I heard a strapping young lad
Christmas
works
tree
at Jack's
Farm
Christmas
is
Tree
open.
Farm.
I think they're open this week. I have a student who works there. He really wants me to come this week and get my tree. So I think they're open this week.
That is absolutely right. It'll be good. So
can't beat it.
Can't beat it. So, y'all, we're looking forward to it. And I hope everybody's ready for Thanksgiving. If you're going out of town, have a lovely and
Be
safe
safe.
travel. If you're staying in town, like we are, that's what I was going to see. I'm going to go see Scott. He works at the Christmas tree.
Oh, yay, good. We will come see
Scott
Scott.
can
That's awesome.
shake the tree and help us load it in the truck. So it takes us a while. Our kids don't like to agree on anything.
We fight over it for a long time, and then we have to like walk it off, go take a hayride.
It gets tense every year. Like one of them on a
Somebody
97-foot tree. I'm
Somebody
like,
will
y'all,
cry.
we
Somebody
can't do
will
that
cry every year,
every stinking year. But we'll try.
without fail. And then I feel like they all have this memory of last year, everybody else. I'm like, you can't have that every year.
It's too much. So, but we do. We
But
do
it
a real
is.
tree every year. It's
Thanksgiving
kind
is
of crazy.
fun. Maybe steer
Thanksgiving.
clear of the Atlanta airport. I don't know.
Mercy.
Seems like a party up there. But if you're traveling, seriously, be safe. However you're traveling.
And have fun. Heather, sweet mother of yours, told me this morning. She's so funny. She said, what just Molly said, they're going to, let's see, one of, who'd she say? Somebody.
I don't know.
One of the brothers.
Can't help you out.
One of Justin's brothers? Is it Justin's brother? She said, well, it's the one we like. And then she laughed. She's like, no, I mean, we like them all. But it's like, oh, it was so funny. And we laughed. I said, oh my goodness. Anyway, Heather, I hope you have a great
Awkward.
Thanksgiving. It's some of Justin's family, but
Wherever you're going, it's the famous.
Justin and
it's
Drew's
the
brother-in-law.
favorite
I
one.
can't remember. It was one of those. But y'all, we're thankful for you, and I hope you do have a wonderful
I hope you have a
Thanksgiving.
good Thanksgiving.
If you need anything this week, let us know. We'll be around town.
We'll
Shante
be
and the
around
kids will be
and-
at the house.
Yeah, and Danny doesn't work apparently. So
I don't do anything.
the
I'm
kids
just-
are
I'll
like,
see y'all
Daddy
next
can be
Sunday.
home with us. He doesn't work.
I'm just gonna sit around and sip on some coffee. It'll be great. Thankful for you.
You guys have
and
a
we
good
will see
night.
you on Sunday. Justin's brother, Ryan. They like Ryan.
Well, tell Ryan he's the favorite apparently. I don't know. Good job, Ryan.
Crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Y'all, we will see you next Sunday. If you need us before then, let us know. Happy Thanksgiving.
Love
Talk
you
to you
guys.
later.